What's up, Anomangians? And welcome back. So, today we're going to be talking about high level issue number 2. Now, I remember the last time I posted a video on this, I was not very pleased with the first issue. I thought that they did a lot of things right, but they did a lot of things wrong. The first issue wasn't very entertaining. I was not a fan of the main character 13. While I did like the world building and some of the things there, I wasn't really a fan of 13's character designs, the forced humor, and certain things like that. I thought that the pacing was a little off too. So I said, you know what? I'm still going to go ahead and read the next issue, because even with all of its flaws, the end of the first issue had 13 having to save some girl, which in itself was unoriginal, but intriguing, because this girl was supposed to be from high level. Now, again, if you haven't read any of these, you might want to skip out on this review, because there are definitely some spoilers ahead. So I went ahead and read issue number 2, and I gotta say, I was definitely very pleased with this issue. I liked it a lot more than that first one, because it was better in a lot of different ways. But I gotta say, I'm still not a fan of 13. The character who was the star of this issue was Minnow, otherwise known as Min, and we'll get into why I think that way. But first, let's go ahead and talk about what this issue is really about. So, 13 is tasked with saving this girl from high level, taking her back home so that she can end the war. 13 doesn't believe that this is the case, and spends the entire issue basically trying to get out of saving, or having to do this mission. Even though she was offered money and everything for it, she's like, hey, look, this isn't my responsibility. She doesn't want to be involved in the war and the politics, so she's like, hey, I really want to just wipe my hands clean of this. And that's pretty much what happens. Not really the strongest issue of a comic book I've ever read, but a vast improvement over the previous one because of the characterization here. 13, even though she's unlikable, you kind of understand why. I mean, if any one of us was put in her situation, we probably would do the same thing. Maybe not in the way that she does it, but her motivations and her reasoning is understandable overall. So I'll give this that. And then of course you have Minnow, the actual girl from high level, and her interactions with 13 here is just so genuine. It's so entertaining, it's so funny, that it just makes the overall issue so much more enjoyable. One thing that really struck me was that when I was reading it, I was getting some major T2 and Big Daddy vibes. You know that Adam Sandler movie from like 1998 or something? Yeah. Really funny movie, but basically the same premise, right? Adam Sandler is tasked with taking care of this kid, and at first him and the kid are just like not really vibing. Adam Sandler's a big kid himself, so he's like, man, I really have to grow up and deal with this kid. And I kind of get that vibe here with 13 and Men and their relationship. I said T2 as well because it's in a futuristic setting. 13 is not the most relatable person on the planet, and Minnow has like a very interesting lively personality, and so it was a mixture of T2 and Big Daddy in that regard, and I thought that was extremely enjoyable. I wouldn't be shocked if the writers here drew from some inspiration. The whole guarding a kid and all of that to get them to a certain place, or anyone for that matter, isn't something that's new. This has been done numerous times before. I just thought that in this issue it was done particularly well. It was well executed, and it really works because of Minnow and just who she is as a character. I'm really excited to see how she grows throughout the series, but also how her relationship with 13 grows too. Minnow is a character that feels like she's been tossed around and nobody really wants her around. So it's going to be interesting to see how that relationship, if it can flourish with 13 being the person who doesn't really want to help her but kind of has to in this situation. And I find that really interesting because I usually hate stories with kids in them because I feel like kids kind of drag down the central character. But here I feel like Minnow really adds a lot of life and flavor to this series that was seriously missing from that first issue. I was reading a few reviews about the first issue after I made my video and everything, and people were like giving it such high scores, and I was wondering why. Like, you guys really enjoyed this first issue, huh? Number 2, I can understand. Number 1, I don't know. This wasn't for me. Anyway, I'm not going to keep bashing the first issue. But yeah, I really like Minnow, and, you know, her personality is, you know, a stark contrast to 13. How I feel about men is in stark contrast to how I feel about 13. And I'm kind of getting the feeling that the writers are making 13 unlikable, I hope. And that she's probably going to have like some kind of redemption arc maybe later on, you know, where the reader can like really, okay, this person's been through whatever, this is why she's the way she is, but she's changing. You know, I would like that. And who knows, the character might just grow on me without changing at all. But right now, just not really, she's just not really vibing with me. I've got to talk about the world building here because it's definitely one of the standouts. While we're focused on 13 and men and their relationship and what 13's mission is, we also get like just little hints of the overall world that they're living in, because we still don't know what happened, why we're in this dystopian future, and 13 speaks about the past that we live in like it's some kind of ancient relic. You know, she's bringing up things that are normal day stuff to us, like it's something that happened a long time ago, kind of like how we may talk about the ancient Aztecians or something. That's how she talks about our modern day society. So it's really cool that the writers kind of throw that in there, and it's also cool how they have men asking questions about certain things and 13 kind of throwing out certain answers that kind of clears up the overall, you know, picture here, as to what this world is and what's going on, what's gone, what's still here, and, you know, why they are in the situation that they are in. So I find that the world building is definitely intriguing. It's keeping me intrigued. It's not overbearing, because sometimes some of these stories can have you sitting there reading a ton of exposition or something when it's not needed. Just throw in a little nuggets of information here or there while still telling your central story, and the readers will be okay with that. And I thought that issue 2 and issue 1 are doing a really good job of that. Again, issue 2 definitely keeps the quality high as far as the art goes. I mean, the panels, the colors, the world, everything just looks so awe-inspiring, so beautiful, and it really just sucks you in. Even when the story isn't strong, you can definitely look at just the art itself and still be entranced, and that is definitely extremely important, because even if a comic book has a really strong story, if the art is crappy, I can't even get through it. And that's, I think that there's a lot of people out there like that who really need a really good art style, drawing style, because there are even some shows and some anime that I just can't watch if the art is just not there. And High Level definitely has it with the art. I'm just hoping that the story gets stronger over time, but I love the art here. It's wonderful. Overall, High Level, issue 2, give it a thumbs up. Definitely really, really good. Worth your penny if you're interested in reading High Level. Go ahead, trudge through that first issue just to get to issue 2, and I think that that's when things are really starting to, you know, the gears are starting to move, and the story is starting to take off so far. I don't know what issue 3 is going to be like, but I will say after the ending of issue 2, which I'm not going to spoil for anyone here who hasn't read it, it commands you to pick up issue 3. So I'm definitely going to be reading that, letting you guys know what my thoughts are. And if you have read High Level, I know I'm a little bit behind. What do you think of the comic series so far? I know there's a ton of issues out already. For those of you who haven't read it, are you interested? Is this a comic book that you're going to pick up at some point, or has it not really captured your attention yet? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you have not done so already, go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you can get more content like this, which contains movie news, reviews, and reactions, and comic book reviews with your boy Derek right here at Anamanji. Don't forget to click that like button and do not forget to click that bell notification so that you will know when I post again. That's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay dope.